let's talk about the business of being a makeup artist, because you've got to almost keep marketing yourself so that you're consistently top of mind when gigs show up. And then also figuring out not just how to market yourself, but who you're marketing yourself to and how to message yourself accordingly. How did you figure all of that out?
Honestly, on the job.
Yes?
You know, no one had actually done it before in a way that there was structure and it was clear. It was very, you know, freelancing style, which I still freelance, which is what we do. But it's very, what can I say? It was me, myself, and I. So I'm not doing this to learn so that I can share with you how to do better when you come into the industry. So that's one other aspect of my work that I'm very passionate about, is training and sharing the knowledge with upcoming makeup artists. Because I think there are very many mistakes I made along the way that could have been, that if I can share and save somebody else, then perfect. For example, I was 25 at the time when I left corporate. And at 25, you're still finding yourself. On top of that, I'm a mom. On top of that, I'm learning to navigate myself in a business, or rather career, that nobody has really taken seriously in the country. There was a lot going on. And so as you're going on and doing that, you're working on people, working in their personal space, you're getting close to them. You're not emotionally mature enough to handle some of the stuff that's coming your way. I did find myself in isolation because I had to first of all, I lost a lot of friends. Venturing into a business that was not paying, so I didn't have money to hang out yes. and be with friends. You know your people, you know the people who have your back when you take a leap of faith like that. So my clients became my friends, but then now not keeping a boundary between friendship and business. And we see it all the time with women in the industry as well as men, you know, not keeping those boundaries. So you can end up, when you're working on somebody, in the beginning you're working with love and care for them, and then you become very close, and then they start to take for granted and, you know, drop your price a little bit. Could you drop it even more? Drop it even more. Then you start going to work and you start not enjoying it because you don't feel like you're getting your worth, because you're giving everything yes. and receiving less and less. It's very discouraging. So that happened to me quite a lot in my 20s. And what I would do is just withdraw, and I would go silent. I would stop answering calls.
Oh, so you wouldn't address it?
I wouldn't address it. And because there was no one there who's been through it to share and say, look, this is how you should go about it, it was a tough time. So by the time I got into my 30s, I now understood it's okay to be firm with a client in that this is my rates, this is what I charge, but it's also okay to be their friend when yes. you've set those boundaries.
Yeah, you don't need to be unfriendly.
No, you
yes.
don't need to be unfriendly. It's okay to be their friend, and it's okay to engage with them business-wise. And I'm so grateful for the clients that I have now who totally respect that. You know, we can hang out as friends, yes, but when it comes to the business, these are the structures and this is payment terms, like everything else.
Still, I want to go back to the how do you market yourself to your target audience? Do you now have a defined target audience, or do you still, and how wide is that definition?
So when I was posting my makeup work only and sharing the information around makeup, it was well and great, but it was mostly makeup lovers, people who actually were interested in makeup. And I wanted to tap into the women who makeup was okay, maybe one day, or this thing is too complicated. That's the woman I wanted to work with. So women generally are giving. We're constantly giving of ourselves to our children, to our husbands, to our workplace, to our friends. We just never take care of ourselves. So if I could empower a woman with just something that she could spend, even if it's 10 minutes in the morning, doing herself up and enjoying the process, and stepping out and somebody paying attention and saying, giving her a compliment, or just seeing her as, wow, you did that for yourself today. It's like I've taken care of myself, you know? That was the core of everything that I was doing as far as wanting to share the information.
And you've done phenomenally, Muthoni. I think there's no doubt about that at all. But how do you juggle the business and particularly a business that requires perhaps that you be away very often or that you go out very often. And this other equally, well, maybe even more important label that is mom, where you don't have someone who you can call and say, take care baby today, you know, I'll be home late.
Yeah.
Where it's all on you. How do you juggle that effectively?
Honestly, my mom was very, very, very hands-on and very helpful with my son when I first started my career. There was no money, Renee, I'm not lying to you. I could not afford a nanny. I could not afford many things. So my mom stepped in and really helped me out with my son. At the time, I also started homeschooling him, and you know, there's something so valuable about homeschool that it really made him very independent and curious to know, how can I do this for myself? How can I do that? So a combination of those two. Then later on, when work needed me to travel, again, mom stepped in, but it was always being very open with my son and sharing with him, why is mom going away? What is she doing? I'll take him to work. He would see what I do. You know, within the first 4 years, I had gotten a chance to travel to Addis, to South Sudan, Juba, to Dar es Salaam, to Zanzibar for work. And it was just really including the family in what you're doing so that the support is there for baby. You know, that's the core thing. I don't believe that you have to sacrifice your entire life when you become a mother. No, your children need to see you happy. Yes. They need to see you going to work happy. They need to see you enjoying life in what you do as a career, so that they too grow up and demand that for themselves. It's not just get into a job and be stressed and depressed. I can't imagine my son, you know, working for the sake of working. I want him to work and love what he does.
When you say you go away on work, I think it's important that you paint the picture, because you don't, going away on work for ordinary normal people is getting into the car at 6:30 and sitting on Thika Road for like an hour and 15 minutes before you get to work.
Yeah.
It's not quite the same for you.
No,
is
no,
it?
No.
So when you went, and I think I remember you went to Lagos at some point, and you went to London and to New York. When you go to work, it's a completely different experience.
The first 4 years, what I would do is, because of putting myself out there, I had a really good website, putting myself up on Facebook. People would get in contact with me and say, look, we're doing a fashion show in Addis, or we're doing one in South Sudan, or in Dar es Salaam. We're willing to pay for your flights and accommodation. We don't have budget to pay you, but we'll have your name on all the banners, all the marketing that we're going to do for the events. So that was another way of building my name in other parts of Africa. So that was the first 4 years. Then eventually, actually, even within that time, I did a job in Dubai for a travel show, which was lovely. And I tell you, I went on that trip with, I probably had 2,000 to my name, 2,000 shillings. Everything was, and I had to ask the client, will there be meals, accommodation? Honestly, if they had left me in the middle of summer, I don't think I would have had money to get myself from there to the hotel. When I say leap of faith, it was leap of faith. And I got to the airport and I was given my ticket, and to my surprise, I was flying business class. So I'm sitting in business class with all the other people in business class.
With your 20 USD.
$20. Going to Dubai, and I'm going to be at the Atlantis. We got to visit one of the most expensive suites there. We stayed at the one and only Palm. Like, if you were watching my story on social media, you would have thought, hey, this girl has made it. I had nothing. I remember walking through the mall, and I just was like, okay, I'm so grateful for this experience, but please let me come back when I have money so that I can actually enjoy and have peace of mind, you know? So that was amazing. And then eventually, after I signed with Maybelline, I started getting a few other people noticing that my style of makeup was more natural. And that's actually what got me to go to Abuja to do makeup on on a client's friend. A client here in Nairobi referred me to her friend in Abuja, and she was like, I like your style, your makeup style, it's natural. So when you're in the service of makeup, it's important to develop a signature style so people know what it is they're coming to you for. So when a bride comes to me, she says, I came to you because I want that natural look that you offer. And that has gotten me a long way. That's those bookings and jobs that come in for a lot of travel, even within Kenya. I've seen parts of my country that I love and adore because of traveling for bridal makeup or if it's shoots. It's amazing. The other international trips, London was for school, and then New York, of course, New York Fashion Week was, I've been 4 times for 4 seasons. Twice in February, twice in September.
As one word. As one word.
It's still so surreal for me to say that. Each flight going there, I cried. Each flight coming back, I cried. It was like, is this happening to me? You know. And when I tell you, it is. When people say, "Oh, is it stressful? Do you feel the pressure when you're backstage?" It's the one time in my life I can tell you I thrive off it. And when I'm in the zone of doing makeup, all the busyness backstage, all the noise, the chaos, everything goes silent to me in that moment. And I'm just in my zone. And there's nothing more fulfilling than that.